Hi friends, as you might be able to guess, today's video is not going to be my regular content. To be completely honest with you, I don't think I can film my regular content right now because what is going on in the world right now is so utterly devastating, and I just can't imagine trying to forget what's going on. Like many others, I've been thinking and reflecting during this time, really asking myself, what can I do? I want to help. I don't want to just sit here and pretend that everything is okay when it's not okay. And yet, as somebody who lacks a lot of financial resources, I have to think outside the box in terms of what can I do given the resources that I have. And today's video is a result of that because I've been sitting and thinking and analyzing, and I came to this incredible realization that something is very, very wrong, very deeply wrong with our skincare community. So today's video is going to be a bit of a plea specifically towards skincare influencers, as well as, honestly, a bit of a personal apology for the fact that I have been sitting here all of these years and never noticed this glaring problem myself. So let me kind of take you back in time as far as how I figured this out, how I realized this problem exists. So over the weekend, I was kind of, trying to think, what can I do with the resources that I have? I didn't make that Instagram post to not take my own advice. I wanted to do something. So at first I was sitting around thinking, okay, a topic that I could easily address would be that of my privilege. I struggled a lot with the concept of white privilege because I grew up poor. It was really something that I had to spend a lot of time fully absorbing in order to really understand it. So, I was thinking, okay, that's something that I could very easily help any other white people with. And I'm sure all of my subscribers know that I have plenty of Black-owned makeup brands that I absolutely love, so I thought, okay, what would be really nice is to just do a kind of get ready with me video using all these Black-owned makeup brands and talking about what this concept really means. Well, I got to thinking about it and I was like, but that's not your biggest viewer platform. More people are here for skincare than for makeup, even though I wish it was an even split, it's not. So I got to thinking about all this and I thought that I came up with the perfect solution here. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna use a bunch of Black-owned skincare brands while I talk about this concept. It'll be great. So I go into the big box that I've described to you guys that I have in my refrigerator full of all my skincare. It's a big box. It's about probably this big. So I start pulling out products and I'm looking for my Black-owned skincare brands. I'm looking at these products and I'm just like, maybe I don't know who made these products. So I'm like, all right, let me go get my cell phone. We'll sit there with the phone in one hand and the products in the other, and we'll figure out which one of these are Black-owned brands. So I'm grabbing products out of the box, typing in the name of the brand with the word founder next to it, and I'm like, nope, 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 nope. I get to the bottom of this box, and not a single product in my refrigerator collection is Black-owned. So at this point, I'm like, this is just not possible. I go to my bathroom where I have the skincare routine I'm presently using, do the same thing there, and we are still at a grand total of 0. So at this point, I'm sitting there thinking, whoa, how on earth did this happen? I'm still in a state of disbelief. So at this point, I get up, I go to the bed, and I sit there and I load the Sephora brands list. So on the Sephora website, there's just an A to Z list of all of the brands they carry. And I do the same thing again. Take the name of the brand, the word founder. Name of the brand, word founder. I am determined to find some Black-owned skincare brands at Sephora, one of my absolute favorite beauty retailers. Do you want to know how many Black-owned skincare brands Sephora carries? Do you want to take a guess? Just put some number out there. We'll see if you're right. We'll see if you're close. All right, are you ready for it? 1. Asterisk. Sephora carries a brand named Gold that makes both these smoothie blends that give you extra benefits as well as face masks, but they don't carry any of their actual face masks. They only carry the smoothie enhancers. So yes, the grand total of Black-owned skincare brands at Sephora is actually 0. I go on the Ulta website next because I'm thinking surely Ulta has some brands. Ulta does have a lot more brands than Sephora, just for the record. So I sit there and I do the same thing. And in Ulta's defense, they do carry Beauty Bakery, which makes an oil, as well as Plant Apothecary, which makes primarily body washes, but also some skincare products. However, I'm sure you figured out the problem by now. The problem is, where is the Black-owned representation? It's important for you to know that skincare is currently the fastest growing industry within the beauty world. A couple of years ago, I don't think there was a distinction between a skincare YouTuber and a makeup YouTuber. It was just all beauty. A lot of beauty influencers do talk about skincare in their own defense, but the skincare world has really taken a mind of its own. It's really become its own thing. And because of that, the fact that there are 0 skincare brands carried at Sephora, the fact that I own 0 Black-owned skincare brands, shows us what the problem here is. I think that something that is very important for us in this time as allies is to make sure that we are listening to Black voices and highlighting them. So I just want to go ahead and read to you from Aurora James, who I will link her Instagram account below. So this is what she said that is very directly related to this topic. Black-owned businesses are the heart and soul of our communities, and they are closing right before our eyes at a rapid pace. They are the most vulnerable and have received the least amount of economic support. All white businesses like Whole Foods, Target, Walmart thrive. Economic equality means enacting real change. Taking the 15% pledge is one thing that retailers can do to help. And what she's stating with this 15% pledge is that 15% of all Americans are Black. And as such, it only makes sense for 15% of products on the shelves at any of these stores to be Black-owned. And again, the fact that we have 0% Black-owned brands in the skincare section, the fastest growing section at Sephora, really illustrates this problem. We do not have equality, if I can make this example. So in an effort to correct my own mistakes and make whatever change that I can with this tiny little platform that I have, the first thing that I did was I started looking up these Black-owned skincare brands. And you know, it's heartbreaking to me that Aurora James is right. I was reading these posts and I saw how many of these small businesses were heavily impacted by the virus, just they're struggling and we're not talking about them. And beyond that, when I started actually looking at the ingredients of these products, because of course you know by now that this channel is very ingredients focused, I'm looking at the ingredients and I'm just sitting there going, some of these brands are everything I've ever wanted. Their prices are excellent. They have recycling programs. They work on sustainability. They're very transparent with their ingredients percentages. What on earth? How have we not been talking about these brands? And the next video I put up on this channel will be talking about these brands. I've already been placing orders. I am going to make these changes on this channel. But here's the thing. I can't do this alone. And that's why this video is a plea to influencers. I think that for a lot of years, people dismissed the potential of influencers. It was when brands like Morphe came along and just absolutely proved the power of influencers that we started to see things a little differently. I mean, Morphe was... I don't need to explain this to you. Morphe is now carried at Ulta in the US. Morphe is now carried at Sephora in Canada, and it is completely because of influencers. Understand this, if Morphe, that in my personal opinion never had a revolutionary brand, there's really never anything to me that made me go, oh, Morphe's doing things so differently. The only thing they did differently was to work with influencers. If that was enough to get them into all of these stores, to get them to be a household name, then we can make these changes for these Black-owned brands. So now that we've wrapped our heads around the potential of influencers via that Morphe example, let's talk about how many people are currently talking about Black-owned skincare brands on platforms such as Instagram and specifically YouTube, because you know this is my main platform. So I get on YouTube and I type into the search box, Black-owned skincare brands. Now, how many videos do you think exist on this topic? Before you make that guess, keep in mind how many video reviews go up of any random product, okay? Are you ready? 4. a grand total of 4. All Black content creators, all linked in the description box below. I highly encourage you to check those videos out. Let's start learning about some Black-owned skincare brands. The point that I'm trying to make throughout this video is that, we live in a world where simply not being racist isn't enough. And I think that this can be a very difficult concept to understand. In a perfect world, that would be enough because racism doesn't exist, so just don't be racist. But we don't live in that world. We live in a world where clearly, as you've seen through this video, we are lacking equality. We are lacking representation. And if we continue through our lives and, just pat ourselves on the back for donating some portion of our income, for not saying terrible things, those are good, but it's not enough to solve the core of the problem. And that's why, again, I am pleading influencers, I am calling all skincare influencers in today's video to start making these changes starting now, to not forget what I have said throughout this video, but rather to take this information and make these changes. It's interesting to me. I've seen a lot of donation posts. I've seen people donating their AdSense revenue. I've seen just like positive encouragement from a lot of influencers. But what I'm asking in this video is, are you willing to put your money where your mouth is? These donations may be a very, very tiny portion of what you actually make. Are you willing instead to take your money and go out and buy some of these products? Yes, buy them. Imagine that. Not just a PR video, not just a sponsored video. Are you willing to take your money, buy from these brands, and make a video that may not get as many views? If you don't understand the influencer world, let me explain to you why it is that we're trapped in this cycle of not talking about Black-owned skincare brands. So when I make a video, if I make a video on a skincare brand that is small and nobody has ever heard of, it doesn't get as many views, which is terrible for the algorithm. It knocks me down. The algorithm says, oh, people just don't like her content. On the other hand, if I keep making videos about Youth to the People, about Drunk Elephant, that boosts me and I can grow as a channel. So am I willing, instead of doing that, to potentially hurt my channel, to potentially hurt my income? I absolutely think it is time for us to say yes to that. I absolutely think that it is time for us to do more than just an easy push of the button, donating a small percentage. I think it's time to donate with our hearts. Yes, that sounded really cheesy, but I mean it. I really mean it. I think that put your money where your mouth is. So that is all I'm going to say in today's video. Again, my deepest apologies for not noticing this sooner. And regarding the fact that there are still much more pressing issues than this one right now, please do continue to donate. Please do continue to spread activism. Please continue to be a real ally, not just a performative ally, but to really, really make a difference. And hey, if you do not get any recognition for that whatsoever, it doesn't matter. All that matters is what you're actually doing. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.